Welcome everybody, welcome back. This is the round one of the 2018 UIM XCAT World Championship. We are in Fujairah and today is the day of the very first race of the season. On your screens you see the boat that will start in pole position. It's called Dubai Police and it's run by Nadir bin Indi and Darif Al Zafain. You see behind there a proper police boat which is not racing today but it's just here to support the local police from Dubai. Today is going to be the first race the first day of racing, but we had a very nice day yesterday, full of action with the pole position. What we want to show you now is a daily recap of yesterday. So let's stay connected and we will be back in some minutes. Welcome everybody, welcome to Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates, and especially welcome back. This is the first stage of the 2018 UIM XCAT World Championship. It's the first day of action today, but it's a new championship this year, so we will have new boats, new liveries, new drivers, a lot of things that has changed as compared to last year. Here in Fujairah is really warm, I'd say hot, it's like 35-36 degrees now, and it's going to be the first day when these new boats will go in the water to see their real values. So don't forget to follow us on all our social networks, and now stay tuned because we're going to see some action in the water.
It's an honor for us to be presenting Dubai Police in the XCAT series. The security of Dubai Police is well known around the world, and whoever visits Dubai feels very secure because of Dubai Police and our theory of Dubai Police to make Dubai #1 in safety and security. If anyone passes us, we're going to give him a traffic fine. So.
I'm racing in 20 years in smaller classes, but this is very different. But the feeling is good, and I know the team very well. I have worked with the guys in 2 years. Now I have rebuilt the boat again. I have been in Dubai in 14 days, so I know the boat very well, and the boat is very fast. It's a very good boat.
I'm happy we come back with Yakim. We won in Dubai Grand Prix. We have a new sponsor, Rebo, and come back Videx. We finally arrive to a championship with 7 events, and so 14 race, and so it's a true world champion.
I want to thank Alfredo Amato for this opportunity now for new boat for number 46 today in the pole position. I think I have a possibility for a 5 or 6 position.
Ho la fortuna di ritornare anche quest'anno con la possibilità di ricorrere nuovamente in XCAT, con il cambio di throttle quest'anno che sarà di rotesta, ottima esperienza, quindi prevedo solo cose positive.
Running really well. We've been in the top 3 the whole timing session. Number 8 boat and obviously the number 3 boat are the ones we have to watch. Yeah, and Darren in 222, I mean, having 3 Australian boats there is not too bad, but we only want to win. So the last time I raced here it was bumpy outside, and I think that makes it a more even playing field when it's a little bit bumpy offshore. Today though was perfect conditions for pole position, as you can see by the times.
We find a good setup, and we have been doing progress the whole day actually. Me and JT is new in the boat, so it takes some time to get used to each other, trust each other. But I must say we should be really proud and happy about this second place, because today's progress has been amazing.
The Dubai Police boat is good. Me and my teammate and the crew did a fantastic job. We're trusting the boat more and more. As you trust more, you're gonna achieve more. All the teams are fighting for number one. You can see the times are very close. They're all strong. They're all can be number one. Maritimo, the Australian team, they're all strong teams, very well known. It's good to compete against them and make a good challenge, a good fight more for the spectators. They call us the legends.
So, we are back with the live images. You've seen the day of pole position. You've seen also at the end of this clip the boat parade we had along the shore of Fujairah. The boats are going far away from the shore. You see in the image there's the pace cat in front, a Dubai Police boat just aside. And the first three boats to start will be Dubai Police. It's not the one with the lights, of course, but it's a boat called after the local police. Then the second one you see passing over to the left of the screen is Team Australia, this one, and then Maritimo. They are going far away from the shore, they are getting aligned, and in a while they will get the green flag and they will push the throttle to the metal and they reach the first buoy. So we are here just waiting for the race director to give the green flag. As we said, in first position is Dubai Police, then Team Australia, then Maritimo, another Australian team. Fourth place for 222 offshore. The first four boats will start from the first gate, the one closest to the second buoy, so they will have an advantage. The second gate, another four boats. The pack will consist of the two boats from Abu Dhabi 5, then Abu Dhabi 4. Then Lady Spain, which is now called Fujairah after the marine club that hosts this event. And then XCAT Racing, the orange boat. Last and third gate is for New Star, Russian team, then Kuwait, then HPI Racing team, and to close the pack, Videx, number 22. So the boats now are getting aligned. They have to keep, at this moment, quite a slow speed. It's around 20-25 knots. It seems they are stuck because they are made to go fast and not to, for sure not this slow. They are all connected through the radio with the race direction. And as soon as they are all aligned, they will get the go, 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 go from Pasquale Cesana, and they will start and go through the gates. You will see a lot of sprays when the propellers start to spin. They raise a lot of sprays in the water, and as much as they gain speed, the wake of the boats will become lower. It means they are finding all the push from the throttle and from the engines and gaining speed. This is the yellow flag. So now they raise their speed, and now in the cockpit there's two drivers for each boat, one at the helm and one at the throttle. They are very nervous in this time because they know they are keeping the speed, just waiting for the green flag and waiting to go, to push pedal to the metal and to try and be the first on the buoys. There's a red flag. Red flag means there was some infringement of the procedures, so they will start again, all over again. They will have to align. As I said, it's very tense moments for the drivers, for the throttlemen, and this means that sometimes somebody makes mistake. It's like a jump start. It's not a matter of starting, but like if I'm in second position and all of a sudden I go ahead of the boat that should be ahead of me, the race director has to use the red flag. So as you see, they're going all away, back. This is the XCAT Racing, the orange boat, a team from Sweden with Eric Stark and Michael Bankston. They didn't do very well in pole position. They started in 8th place. This is a High Performance Italia racing team, boat 96, with François Pinelli from Corsica and Rosario Schiano di Cola from Italy. All the boats going back, then turning again towards the buoys for the starting procedure. very nervous moments. Later on, we will go on describing all the teams and drivers and the boats. But now we have to feel the tension as they feel in the cockpit. I'm Emanuele Ferrari Zicelle, media officer with the championship. But today I will be commenting alone, not because nobody wanted to come here and comment, but because we had a surprise visit from the prince of the reigning family of Fujairah. And so the people I scheduled to be here to comment with me had to host the prince, which is a matter of pride also for us, because they really believe in this sport. It's beautiful to stay here in Fujairah because we really feel welcome. They love us, they love to have this beautiful XCAT racing. And it's also beautiful for us to be here. So the boats are aligning again. As we said, Dubai Police, then Team Australia, Maritimo and 222 Offshore are the first four. Then Abu Dhabi 5, Abu Dhabi 4, Fujairah, XCAT Racing, second pack, and then New Star, Kuwait, HPI Racing Team, and Videx to close the 12 boats competing today. You see this image is very wide. They seem to be very far away one another. But the bow of their boats, the bows of their boats have to be aligned, and that's the reason why Pasquale, who's raising the yellow flag now, has to stay beside them and to check they're all aligned. So yellow flag once again. They raise their speed, as we said, up to 20-25 knots, controlling to stick to their position. There must be more or less the distance of one boat, which is around 10 meters from one boat and the following one. So if everything is okay, once again, it's red flag. You know, it happens quite frequently to have one red flag. It doesn't happen very frequently to have two red flags. This to me means that there is a lot of tension, because it's the first race of the season, many things have changed. Everybody is eager to start, everybody is eager to be the first on the buoy. We have new boats, new drivers. We had a shocking news some days before starting this race, which is the withdrawal of Victory Team from the championship. They won a lot of championships in the previous years, and now they withdraw from the championship, and so they leave a void on top of the rankings, and everybody is eager to fulfill that void, of course. So there's a lot of professional teams, a lot of very strong teams, and they want to be the first. So back again for all of them, away from the shore, then they turn back again, they align, then we will see another yellow flag. And we hope that take 3 will be the good one. I'm feeling the tension as well. I must say it's also quite hot here. Today is not as hot as yesterday. Yesterday we got to 36, but even more, even 37, 38 degrees. Today is a bit less, but it's very humid here in Fujairah. There's no wind at all, as you can tell, of course, by this image. The sea is completely flat. So today this won't be at all an offshore race. It will be more of a circuit race, even if the race course is quite spread, and it's like 3.5 miles long. This means they will be all close and there will be a lot of fighting among them, because when it's big waves, it's different. The boats like spread and they get loose, they get distant one another, but today will be a very close action with this flat sea. Once again, yellow flag. We'll see. You see on the left boat number 3, Dubai Police, Arif Al-Zafai, Nadir Bin Indi. They've been champions in XCAT 2013 to 2016, 4 times in a row in this formula of XCAT World Championship. The pace cut gaining speed, it means so far everything is going, and it's green flag. Now it's really full throttle for all of them. I have also, from my booth, the window is open in front of me. I can see them very far away, but especially I can hear the roar of the engines. These are 4-stroke engines by Mercury called ROS, which stands for Racing Offshore, 400 horsepower each. So these boats have 800 horsepower in their back. As we see all of them, it's Dubai Police on the right of your screen, the white and green boat leading the pack. They started from the first position. Seems to me that Team Australia would have been able to stick to them and stay second. This is the first turn at the first gate, and now it's time for them to get into the proper racing course. You see it's quite flat, but the boats are moving a lot anyway, shaking left and right, pitch and roll for them, as they pass the first buoy and they enter the course. And it's 2-2 offshore, it's second, beautiful start, and there's been immediately a flip over for Maritimo Racing. It seems they had a contact with Team Australia, so it should be, yeah, you see in the images the Maritimo boat. A contact with Team Australia is the two boats from Australia. Yeah, you see the hatch opening on the bottom of the boat, which at the moment is on top, the hatch opening. That we will have the rescue team arriving as soon as possible in place. You see this rib is already there. We have a team they are called the Scuba Angels. They're helicopter rescue swimmers. There is doctors, there is any kind of professionals for the rescue. They are the best. You see them already diving in the water. As all the other boats, of course, slow down, red flag, and we see a slow-mo. There was Maritimo on top of the screen on the left, the white boat. No, it's been a spin from Team Australia, a sudden spin, because we've seen all of a sudden the blue boat, Team Australia, spinning around, and this is good to see. This is the two drivers. You see the doctor with the blue jumper is one of the doctors, the rescue doctors, but another one has already dived in the water. And this one taking off the helmet is Tom Berry-Cotter. He's also the owner of the boat, while they're helping the other driver to get out, Ross Willerton. You see they have all the gear. That's a pace cut with a red flag passing by. Yeah, we've seen Team Australia spinning. They probably hit Maritimo boat while they were going full throttle. Yeah, you see also in the titles the name. And this caused the boat to flip over. Okay. This is Ross Willerton. You know, that's for safety reasons. They prefer, you see, to use the stretcher, because you never know. What I see is that he's moving. It's a safety matter. They don't want to stress him because maybe he's been hit. You never know. So that's the reason why they use the stretcher. It's a floating hatcher. They will lift Ross on it. And then they will raise the stretcher. They will strap him to the stretcher. They will raise him, and he will go straight for medical checks. Meanwhile, the boat is still floating. Of course, the water gets in slowly. But what I will do as soon as the people, the drivers, are rescued and moved back. You see also Ross raising his hands. He's fine. They're just telling him don't move. You see our rescue team is fantastic. They do an amazing job. I can recognize Catherine on the left. I can recognize Paolo on the right, and Fabrizio, which is the manager of the rescue team. They're all there. They're telling him not to move, and they will bring him on board and then straight to medical checks. The boat itself will be towed to shore while still, let's say, down under. Yeah, it's an Australian boat. Pardon me, it wasn't meant to be a joke. Like upside down, let's say. They are towing it very slowly back to the pontoon. Then they put the straps around and they start to lift the boat very slowly because it's very heavy now because it's full of water. So if you raise it, the crane can lift the boat even if it's 3 times the weight it's supposed to weight, but the boat will crash. So they lift little by little. Meanwhile, all the water flows outside of the boat and flows back down, and so it will get lighter, and when it's possible they will flip it back on the right side at the dock. But then it will mean a lot of work for the mechanics and the technicians, because the engines need to be dismantled and all the parts checked and washed. All the electronics need to be re-rigged. As we see Ross, yeah, he has his, you see, moving his arms. It's a matter of safety, as I say. They don't want him to risk anything, any stress. As we see again, you look at the blue boat in the middle of the screen. All of a sudden they turn left, you will see, and they hit the other boat. Here, you see they turn left, a lot of sprays, pam. That's the hit, and of course at that speed they were probably going already 80 knots, I'd say, and accelerating. They probably, with the tip of their sponson, with their bow, they hit the bow of the other boat, and this caused like a loss of balance, and immediately it's a flip over. When the air gets on the bottom of the boat, these boats, as I always say, are much more about aerodynamics than hydrodynamics. So it's enough when you go fast to have some air hitting the bottom of your boat, and you immediately flip back. That's why you have to find the perfect balance. Talking of safety, we said about the Bergamo Scuba Angels, this rescue team that you see in action now. They are very good, not only in passive safety, which is what you're seeing now, like what happens after a crash, but they are also very good in active and proactive safety, because they take care of all the tests. All the drivers need to take a throttle test, which is like they flip them over with a special device, and they have to get out of this like mock cockpit. They provide all the safety, which means checking that all the circuit is always in perfect conditions, that nothing is floating in the water, that the buoys are visible, that there's not too much wind on sides or in front, everything. When the race direction has to give the start, they are always connected through the radio with the Scuba Angels, with all the boats around the circuit, checking for all the safety. And so it's not possible to have a green flag if the safety conditions first are not all complied. Then again, in terms of safety, we should say something also about the boats. In a flip like this, I mean, it was probably, I don't know, 70 knots, could have been. Something like, if you flip, all of a sudden, there's a big hit from the surface of the water to the cockpit, the canopy, because the boat is upside down and all the pressure gets there. You don't want to know how many tests, how many rules, how many rules applied to material, not only to construction, have been applied and implemented in all these years of the discipline. We have all the times at every single race a structural engineer and naval designer coming over. He has to check all the times before every single day all the boats with all his instruments. He checks the thickness of the materials. He checks if there is any, let's say, to make it easy, any bubble in the building of the boat, any crack, anything. We have rules for the windows of the cockpit, for the size of the canopy, for the height of the canopy, for the pressure that the cockpit has to bear, for the structural resistance of the hull. I don't want to get too much technical, also because I'm not a naval engineer at all. But yeah, this is something you have to do. So these boats are, let's say, as safe as possible. Of course, we are talking about racing, and there's always a component of risk, but they want to have fun in the safest possible conditions. You see, this is boat number 8, Team Australia, the one that got the first mistake, let's say, and hit Maritimo boat. They lost the cowlings on both of the engines in the impact with the water in the spin, round. These are the two drivers. On the left, Paul Virek Nielsen. On the right, Jan Trevigbe Braten. They're both from Norway, although the team is from Australia. The team manager and the team owner, pardon, is Brett Lurman from Australia. He's been racing in this cockpit till the last year. This year he left his place to Jan Braten, or JTB as they call them, which has nothing to see with LBF, which is another name they use, but has nothing to see. Okay, so this was Team Australia. The boat was being towed to the pits as well, while also this one, Maritimo, will be towed. You see it's lower in the water under the surface because more water got in. But I can see in the front there's a hatch, a hook, a hook I meant, and there was a line, they are towing it, while all the other boats have to realign, and we will have another starting procedure in some minutes, because first of all they have to take off the course the two damaged boats. Yeah, you see the blue rib, the dark blue rib, towing Maritimo boat back to the pits, where they will have to take out all the water. This is the pace cat. This is a proper police cat. When I say police, Dubai Police, I mean the team, just boat number 3. This boat on the right now off the screen with the blue lights is a real Dubai Police boat, while the one competing is the one you see now on the right, number 3. It's easy because this one doesn't have the blue lights on top, and the other one is also an open boat. But the builder is the same. They're both built by Victory Team back in Dubai, and the same hull, a very sporty hull, same kind of boat. Just the police one, the real police one, doesn't have a closed cockpit, and it has 4 or 5 seats. While the other one, of course, is a 2-seater and a racing boat. So now the new starting order, it's a big disappointment for Australia, because they had 2 teams in 2nd and 3rd spot, and in the end they got out of the race among themselves. It's a pity. We'll keep you posted, of course, with the conditions and all the updates that we receive. We said the 2 Australian teams are out. So we will have Dubai Police starting in 1st position, followed by 222 Offshore. 222 Offshore, it's an Italian and Australian again team, half-half, because in the cockpit there will be Giovanni Carpitella from Italy at the throttle and Darren Nicholson from Australia at the helm. Both experienced. They had a beautiful podium down under. We were racing in Australia 2 years ago, and they did a beautiful podium there. Then we will have the 2 boats from Team Abu Dhabi. As Pasquale is talking on the radio, the man you see just his shoulders is Jean-Marie Van Lankers, one of the UIM officials. I take the chance to remind you that UIM is not only, of course, the World Powerboating Federation, but in the case of XCAT, they are also the promoters. That's why this championship is called the UIM XCAT World Championship. They did a good job in promoting the championship. We have here one of the representatives, beside the officials taking care of the race, one of the representatives from the UIM office, who is Riccardo Lacognata. He's the head of the president's office. UIM president is Raffaele Chiulli. In this case, Riccardo Lacognata is attending. In this very moment, Riccardo Lacognata is with the prince of the reigning family of Fujairah. And so I would have liked to have him also to say some words because they are in the role of promoters and there is some news to tell to all of you. Don't worry, stay tuned all the time because if it's not during this live or this race, it will be during the next one. You will know because we have many things in the pipeline. New Star Racing, beautiful colors for this boat, for me at least, it's beautiful colors. The pattern is a typical tile from Russia. They wanted to have it, and the colors, of course, are the ones of the Russian family. Here we have another image, a slow-mo, and you see on the left the two boats getting very close. No, pardon me, yeah. Because of the sprays, looking from this angle, I'd say you can see that Maritimo boat touched first, which also explains better why the blue boat Team Australia has flipped around so fast, because they've been hit in the back. And so yeah, it's been probably a small mistake, evaluation mistake from the two drivers of Team Maritimo. They just touched. It's enough a flick, you know, at that speed, with the boats that are very light on the water. They're not inside the water. They just touch in the water with the bow. For the rest, they are flying. It's enough a small flick like this, and all of a sudden you turn. So it's a pity, because yeah, it's two boats out, and big disappointment for Australian supporters. I know we have a lot. We know we have a lot. Not just because we have two teams and many drivers from Australia, but also because they really love the sport. When we went racing to Australia, it was in Gold Coast a couple years ago, 2015. It was amazing, the passion from the public. We had tens of thousands of people coming to Gold Coast shores to see the race. And it was really an amazing spectacle. That's why we are all eager to go back to Australia, because this championship deserves a country like that, and that country deserves a sport like that. This is my personal opinion, but I know that many share it. As we see, the XCAT and the Dubai police boat, they're very similar, because also the XCAT is built by Victory. It's a slightly older hull, but it's the same builder. We see once again, look on the right, the blue boat in front, and the white boat just touching the bow, touching the back of the blue boat, making them spin. But they lost control as well, because their bow was raised, and so it's enough a hit like that, and you get air on the bottom of your boat, and you flip over. Yeah, so this was a slow-mo, and this is the Maritimo boat towed back to the pits. You see, as long as they tow it, it won't get any more water inside, that it won't sink. It will stay floating like this. Then as soon as it's back to the pontoon, there will be a diver going with the straps, with the slings, going underwater and putting the slings around the boat. Then they will connect the crane, and they will start lifting little by little in order to let all the water go out. And when it will be empty of the water, they will flip it back on the right position. Changing again the line, this is two of our guys actually, is Vincenzo and Leo. Vincenzo from Italy, Leo is from Portugal. This gives me the chance also to say a big thanks to all of them. We have a beautiful team. We call them the crew, but they all have a name. They're all nice. They have a huge heart, because they work non-stop from early in the morning to late in the night. They come here much earlier than us, because they have to mount everything. They stay here extra days, because they have to dismantle everything. And of course, without them, we couldn't do anything. They're a big resource for us, a big asset. But many times we forget to say thanks. And not only they do the work on land, but as you see, they are also working out of the land. I mean, in the water. Of course, they have the boating license. They are skilled. So yeah, it's a big resource for us. Boat number 12 Maritimo, Tom Berricotter and Ross Willerton. They are back for medical checks, while the boat is towed to the pontoon. Meanwhile, all the other boats are going very slowly around the circuit, following the XCAT. And it will be Dubai Police, then 222 offshore, then Abu Dhabi 5, Abu Dhabi 4, Fujairah, which is boat number 46, then XCAT Racing, New Star, Kuwait, High Performance Italia Racing Team, and Videx. So yeah, we can talk a little about, I can tell you about the news for this year. Dubai Police is a new livery, the white and green, but it's the same crew, Arif Al-Zafai, Nadir Binindi, so many times world champions. They started from scratch last year with a brand new team, a brand new boat, and this year they have the support of the Dubai Police. That's why this livery. Then we say 222 offshore, Italian-Australian with Giovanni Carpitelli and Darren Nicholson in the cockpit. Then Abu Dhabi. They've always been in the championship, almost all the previous years, but this year the big news is that they got into the championship with two boats. Abu Dhabi number 4 is driven by Sean Torrente from USA and Faleh Al-Mansouri, while boat number 5, Rashid Al-Tayer, Majid Al-Mansouri. Rashid and Majid have been racing in XCAT in the last years. They are very experienced, they have podium finishes, wins. But this year they have a brand new boat and it's a brand new builder for XCAT. It's built in USA, it's MTI. Many of the offshore passionate, powerboating passionate know MTI by Randy Sism. So Abu Dhabi got a boat from MTI Randy Sism, and it's actually boat number 5. The real expertise among our viewers and our fans will recognize the typical shape of the MTI boat, which has, if you look at the profile, has kind of a bubble in the back. It's rounded in the back, and it's the same with the big boats that Randy Sism builds, and also with this 33-footer. Then we have number 46. You remember of her, like Lady Spain, metallic blue boat. For this race, it's named Fujairah. You will see the metallic blue livery, but with a big sign Fujairah in red on the sides. Why it happens? Because we are racing in Fujairah. The Fujairah International Marine Club strongly believes in this sport, so they decided to support one of the teams. And so boat number 46 is Fujairah. In the cockpit, we have Diego Testa and Andrea Comello, both from Italy. Diego Testa is from Napoli, Andrea Comello is from Venice. They've been racing already in XCAT, both of them. And so we will see. They found a good performance as they were 7th in the grid. They will start 5th now that the two Australian teams are not there. And we will see. Then again, XCAT Racing, the orange boat, Michael Bankston and Derek Stark. XCAT Racing has entered the championship some years ago. They are really professional, very well-structured team. The big news for this year is their team manager. You could say, okay, a team manager is a team manager. Okay, beside all the responsibilities that a team manager has to carry, in this case, the big news is the fact that is a she. She's a woman. Her name is Josephine Dubois. And not only is the first time we have a female team manager, but she's also the youngest ever. She is 22 years old. Can you imagine? And she is already a winner of many races in offshore. Back in Sweden, she's been racing for a long time, despite the age. She's a dancer. We've seen also a clip. You will find it on our Facebook page, XCAT Racing. And she has the skills. So they decided to go for younger generations, and I'm sure she has the guts. Assuming what I see, according to what I see in these days, she has the guts absolutely to manage a team. And then, of course, all the rest of them are really professional and experts. Then, in 9th position in the grid, they will start 7th today. It's New Star Racing, Russian team. Mikhail Kitashev, nickname is Misha, and Dmitry Vandishev, Dima. They are a full Russian team. We've seen their boat before. I told you the colors of the flag and the pattern that is a typical tile from an area in Russia. They're all Russian team. They entered last year. They are gaining performance. Okay, they were 9th yesterday in pole position, but for instance, this morning in the free practice session, they did the 3rd best time. They took 12 laps in the practice because they wanted to test and test and test. They need a lot of testing on the boat to find the perfect setup, the perfect propellers, the perfect weight balance, and so on and so forth. And so I'm sure that this year they will improve a lot because they've been winning many other championships beside XCAT. Then again, we have Kuwait It used to be Rahib, the light blue and white boat, number 17. It's an early adopter, let's say, of XCAT. They've been here from the very first moment. Abdulatif Alomani is the team owner. As we always say, he's one of the nicest people ever. Everybody loves him because he's always so nice to everybody. He's very experienced, he's skilled, he knows a lot of things. He never says no if it's a matter of helping competitors. So it's another of the good assets that we have. Along with Abdulatif Alomani, since last year, it's another fellow from the same country, from Kuwait, Mustafa Al-Dashti, who, by the way, has 2 domestic lions in his home. He showed me the pictures. Back home in Kuwait City, he has 2 lions in his garden. Just to give you an idea of these racing drivers. 11th position, so starting 9th today, HPI Racing team is the boat number 96. You remember as Yacht France is still François Pinelli in the cockpit, along with him Rosario Schiano di Cola. Schiano family are the exclusive dealers of Mercury Racing for the whole Italy, so they know a thing or two about these engines and about racing. And they decided to enter properly in this championship side by side with François Pinelli and with Team 96, which is now named after their company, HPI Racing Team, where HPI stands for High Performance Italia. Then in the last spot is a disappointment for them to have been so slow yesterday. Boat number 22, it's called Videx this year. Alfredo Amato, team owner. We've been seeing him many years before. He loves XCAT, he loves these races. And beside him is Joachim Kumlin. The two of them have been racing together. We remember a beautiful win they had in Dubai in 2015. There was real offshore racing. It was really rough sea, 2 meters and over of waves. Some of you may remember of the big dive of boat number 6 at the time. We had boat number 6 with Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Polli. They had a big jump and their nose got into the water and they went completely down in the water. They dove. The cockpit was covered under the surface of the water, and then all of a sudden the boat, of course, was full of air, got up on the surface, they started again the engine, and they went on racing. There was an amazing race with incredible twists, and in the end, Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin won the race. So as the crew has been able and is able to do such good performance, for sure they will not stand in the last position today. They will try and give their best to gain some positions. As we see once again, the boats, they are trying to realign offshore, off the shore of Fujairah. In the end, you see some really small waves. There's some breeze, but we're talking about 5 knots, not more. It's not enough, of course. I would never call this offshore racing today. But just to remind you, this is yellow flag, so they will gain speed. Just to remind you that these small waves at those high speeds can mean losing the balance of the boat and losing the boat. We've just seen a crash, so beware of these small waves, because when it's chopped like this, you never know. It's unpredictable, and you never know. So it's yellow flag again. Dubai Police in front, 222 offshore to follow, then Abu Dhabi 5, Abu Dhabi 4. They gain some speed, they have to stick at around 25 knots. Pasquale Cesana, directing all the operations from the pace cut, will check that they're all aligned in the correct grid, in the correct position. It's like having a huge zoom lens, a Canon lens, because you see all the tips of the boats aligned, even if they are so far away. And it's green flag again. You see all the wakes of the boats raising up, sprays of water, the propellers spinning at top speed. It's a matter also for the throttleman to control that spin, because they don't want to overheat the engine, to over-rev the engine and overheat, while the boats are jumping. As I told you, this is small waves, but they're jumping anyway, because they are so light and so fast, so light on the water. So you see on the right of your screen is the first gate, only 2 boats, because the 2 Australian boats are out, so it will be on the far right, Dubai Police, followed by 222 offshore. On the second gate, you see the 2 Abu Dhabi boats, The one in the back lost position is Fujairah, and then XCAT Racing, the orange one. As we go with the camera on the Dubai boat, leading, a good start for them. We had a beautiful start before for 222 offshore. They were able to overtake both the Australian boats, Maritimo and Team Australia, but now they are in second position, but they're very close with Abu Dhabi, as we see. One of the Abu Dhabi boats is in front, while we've seen, pardon me, because I have the boats in front of me with the window open, and the other commentator beside us really passionate and shouting. It's amazing. I would like you to feel the thrill of the moment. Anyway, as we were saying, first spot for Arif Al Zafai Nadir Bin Indi. Dubai Police, they are used to the first position. They normally can control very well the situation from the top spot. They try to get as much as advantage as they can in order to take then the long laps when it's the best chance to. We will have, let me recap, 15 race laps plus 2 long laps as they cross the line for the first time. The first lap is done. And 15 race laps and 2 long laps. It will be on them to decide when to take the long laps in order to gain positions. When they, let's say you are in the back, you feel that you have the performance, you are able to overtake the boat in front of you. You cannot stick to the back of the other boat because you will be completely disturbed by the wake, the waves they create, and the sprays of water. You would have no visibility, no control. So it's not that easy to overtake even if you are faster. That's why there is the long lap strategy. You will see a green buoy on top of the screen you've seen for a while. That is the buoy of the long lap. They have to take 2 compulsory during the race whenever they want, except the first and the last lap. They will use when it's the best time for them. It's also a matter of the radio man. They control all the situation and they tell to the drivers, this is your chance to take the first long lap, go and do it now. As we have the first ranking, Dubai Police 222 offshore, an amazing boat number 17, Kuwait, with Abdulatif Alomani and Mustafa Al-Dashti in 3rd position. Fantastic for them so far, so great for Kuwait. Then Abu Dhabi 5 in 4th spot. XCAT Racing, they gained 1 position. Yes, they gained 1 position on Abu Dhabi 4, exactly. Then a new star, Fujairah lost 2 positions, Videx gained 1 position, and to close the pack, HPI Racing team. With 11 seconds on the second to last, so maybe they had a problem in the start. Sometimes also with the engines in the cockpit, there's a lot of electronics in these engines, maybe you have some trouble, you over rev for a second, so the limiter gets in. It's not easy, it's not easy. And as we always stress, it's 2 people in the cockpit. These guys that you see on the screen, Arif Al Zafai and Nadir Bin Indi, forget about what you see, Arif Al Zafai and Nadir Bin Indi, these guys, they always say we are 2 people and 1 brain, because they've been racing so much and so long together, also in other categories, also testing and so on, that they don't need to communicate. I would love to have their radio on my headset in order to hear what they tell each other during a race. I'm sure they just say a couple words because they perfectly understand each other. When one is taking, the helmsman is taking a wave, the other one knows that he has to lift the throttle for a second in order not to over rev the engines. And so they get along so well together because they are 1 brain. The camera is on them, but Kuwait boat is so fast. They are fighting with Abu Dhabi number 5. Followed by XCAT Racing in 5th position. Then Abu Dhabi 4, Sean Torrente, Fale Al-Mansouri, new star, the Russian team, Videx, Fujairah and HPI Racing team. This is the Kuwait boat, well-deserved image for them. What an amazing start for the boat number 17 from Kuwait, of course, the former Rahib. While we see the white and green Dubai Police boat, the reason of the orange on the top of the canopy is because it's the most visible color down in the water. This is for one of the many safety measures that we have. From also, of course, the UIM, the federation is working a lot along with our championship and our technicians. And when in case the boat is inside the water, the orange color is the most visible, and that's the hatch to open the canopy. This is 222 offshore, Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson, why the image goes back. You see Dubai Police 3, 222 offshore, and Abu Dhabi number 5 has overtaken Kuwait, but there is just half a second between them. So Kuwait is really fighting. Second racing in third place. Pardon us, we had a technical issue. It's tough days also for the technical side of this race. Not all is on us, but it's not a matter of blaming anybody. We just try to provide you the best service. As we said, Dubai Police in the first spot, 222 offshore, 7 seconds behind. Then Abu Dhabi 5, another 7 seconds. Kuwait, a great start, just 1 second behind Abu Dhabi. Then XCAT Racing, another 2 seconds. Abu Dhabi 4, another 3 seconds. And New Star, another 2 seconds. So there's a pack where they are very close between the third and the 7th spot. Most of the images go to the leaders, Arif Azafainadi Benindi, but we have a lot of action also in the middle. 222 offshore in second, passing in front of us. They are racing alone at the moment, while on the screen is a boat in 6th position, Abu Dhabi 4, Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri. This is Kuwait, number 17. You see the balance of the boat. Normally they touch the water just very little with the back of the sponsors. All the rest is floating and flying, because in the end it's like a wing. This is New Star Racing. Wow! You see when I said you are disturbed by the waves, look at the jumps they are taking just because of the waves created by the other boats. At these high speeds, it's normal, and it means always adjusting the trims, always controlling the throttle, always controlling direction. It's not a cruise, believe me. It's a real tiring sport. When the drivers get out of the cockpit, you will see the images after this race. You can see previous images of other races. They are really sweating, not just because of the overalls, not just because it's hot, but it's really an effort. They are panting as well. It's a sport. I mean, it's not leisure. It's a proper sport. 222 offshore. You see here on the screen. They are very strong. Giovanni Carpitella is one of the most experienced throttle men out there. With Darren Nicholson, as we said, they have been racing together already. We expect big things. They had Giovanni, especially with Luca Fendi, the previous buddy in the cockpit. They had an amazing season 3 years ago, where they were leading the first 3 races, and for 3 times in a row they had to retire for technical issues. So for sure they have the speed, they have the skills, and we will see. Today they are second. We will see what they do. Even if they lost 2 seconds on the previous lap to Dubai Police leading. This is Videx going very fast. New livery for them, very aggressive one, shaped like an arrow with really shocking colors. Alfredo Mato in the cockpit with Joachim Kumlin. Alfredo Italian, Joachim from Sweden. We'll see if the aggressive livery means also an aggressive driving for the two of them. So Dubai Police, 222 offshore, Abu Dhabi 5, XCAT Racing, 3 seconds behind, then another 4 seconds, Abu Dhabi 4, then Kuwait, New Star, Videx, Fujairah and HPI. This is XCAT fighting with Abu Dhabi 5, and exactly, no, it's Abu Dhabi 4, pardon me, the sprays were covering. The boats are different builder, but with all the sprays I just could see the colors, so white and red. And it's XCAT Racing gaining advantage on Abu Dhabi 4 and trying to catch Abu Dhabi 5. There's 4 seconds dividing them. They're pushing to the limit. You see big jumps for Eric Stark and Michael Bengtsson trying to catch up on Abu Dhabi 5. Meanwhile, I've seen, you don't see on the screen, I've seen New Star overtaking Videx for the 6th place. You will see in a while, I'm sure, in the images. There was New Star really powering, overtaking by power the Videx boat for the 6th spot. This is HPI Racing Team, High Performance Italia, François Pinelli from France. The team is from France, that's why you see the French flag. and Rosario Schiano at his side. Francois, another very experienced driver at the throttle. Rosario Schiano is starting his offshore career. He's been racing with monohull boats. He's very young, at the age of 25, while you see boat number 5, Abu Dhabi number 5, taking the long lap. It's actually the first boat to take the long lap, so it's their own choice. You know what? Just 1 minute ago, I shown you XCAT Racing that was going to disturb Abu Dhabi number 5. Maybe they decided, okay, let's get off this situation and take the first long lap now. So they will be behind now, but of course everybody has to take 2 mandatory long laps, so in the end they will be all balanced. It's a matter of strategy and what the radio man and team manager tell them. New star jumping a lot. This means that Dimitri Vandyshev is really pushing on the throttle levers of these 2 Mercury Ross engines, 400 horsepower each. Mikhail Kitashev at the helm. You see how the boat goes horizontal. This means a good balance, and of course they found a good balance because, as we said this morning in free practice with the same setup, they did 3rd best time. They had 12 timed laps in order to find the best balance, and it seems they found it. While it's the 5th lap for boat number 3, Dubai Police. 12 minutes of racing since the second green flag. 2-2 offshore, it's still second, but now the gap is 14 seconds. It's racing by the 2-3 seconds every lap, so Dubai Police is really faster. 3rd spot for XCAT Racing now, because Abu Dhabi 5 got the long lap, so Abu Dhabi 5 is not past the finish line yet. XCAT Racing in 3rd, Abu Dhabi 4 in 4th spot, Videx is now in 5th spot, New Star Racing in 6th, so they've not been able to overtake Videx. They are behind by 3 seconds. They cannot stick too close because of the reason I told you, they will be too disturbed, so they have to stay a bit far. Kuwait in spot number 7, Fujairah 8, Abu Dhabi 5, the very first to take the long lap, slips down to 9th position, and to close HPI Racing team. This is Kuwait. You see some more waves. And it's not only the waves created by the boats turning around the circuit, but it's also some breeze that is increasing. As I said, it's like 5 knots. This is not offshore racing, but it's still enough to disturb them. They have to keep the concentration all the time. You see the green buoy on top left of the screen is the long lap. Nobody's taking it now at this turn. So for the moment, at the 5th lap is only Abu Dhabi number 5 who got their first long lap. Kuwait boat and Fujairah boat number 46 on the screen now. This is Diego Testa and Andrea Comello. They'll be racing already in XCAT. It's one of the first times for them together in the cockpit. They know each other, of course, but one matter is knowing each other, one matter is to get along in the cockpit. It seems to me that the combo is working because they are improving so fast in these 2 days. At the moment, Fujairah is in 8th spot. You see, they also lost a small part of the letter F. This because of the sprays and everything. Can you imagine at over 100 knots, which is like 110 miles, the water is really like stones. So probably the sticker of the letter was a bit loose and they lost some part. Dubai Police. Dubai Police number 3, closing their 6th lap, again in 1st spot. Giovanni Carpitel and Darren Nicholson in 2nd spot. The good news is that they didn't lose any second, it's still 14 seconds. In 3rd place is XCAT Racing, 7 seconds to 222 offshore. Then Abu Dhabi number 4, another 4 seconds of gap to XCAT Racing. So Dubai Police, 222 offshore, XCAT Racing, Abu Dhabi 4, Videx, then New Star. New Star boat is really flying. They are pushing to the limit with the trims as well. New Star in 6th place, as we said. Now it's Fujairah in 7th. They overtook actually Kuwait and already in front of by 5 seconds. Kuwait in 8th spot, Abu Dhabi 5 in 9th, and HPI Racing in 10. In 10th position. This is the 10 boats. HPI Racing has a big gap. Probably they have an issue. They probably have an issue with the power or the wrong propellers, I would say, but I'm not sure. It may be an issue with the power because the gap to the 9th is at the moment 25 seconds. I am sure, I'm confident they can be much faster than this, so there must be some problems. Still, it's good to go on racing because you never know what happens. We've seen the first lap of the first start, what happened, and you never know. And anyway, if you complete 70% of the race and you are in the position to get points, you will get. So there's no reason to say if the engines work, even if they are a bit weaker than normal, if you don't risk to damage anything, you need to race. You also want to race. To the two offshore, Giovanni Carpitella, Darren Nicholson. As you said, they did the podium in Australia. Can you imagine with Darren Nicholson being from Australia? Also Maritimo, we have to say, they did a beautiful second place down in Australia, and he was the local idol in Gold Coast, Tom Berry-Cotter with his Maritimo boat, and Ross Willett on his body. It's been good because at that time we had these people from Australia and they were able to step on the podium, and it's been big cheers from all the local people, the local supporters. An amazing commentary, I must say. In my chair there was Paul Marinelli with Dave Bishop. It's been really thrilling because they were shouting like hell and everybody was excited. I'm trying to describe the race. I mean, it's not my first job. I hope that you can understand the race. I hope that you can feel what I feel. I'm not able to shout that much because I will lose my voice at the second lap. As we see Checkered Racing with Michael Bankston at the throttle and Eric Stark at the helm. They both race, Michael Bankston in other offshore disciplines. Eric Stark has won 4 world titles in Formula 2, so we're talking about circuit, we're talking about mono-seater, one-seater, and he's racing now in Formula 1. So it means that his skills are like being very fast in thinking and operating because small disciplines require that, circuit disciplines. This is a fight between Kuwait boat and Abu Dhabi number 5 on the right of the screen. They will appear now. When Abu Dhabi number 5 is trying to overtake Kuwait boat, they take the inside line. This is the 7th lap. So far, nobody has taken the long laps except one of the 2 compulsory ones for Abu Dhabi number 5. We have 16 seconds now from Dubai Police to 222 offshore, another 6 seconds, so 22 in total for Checkered Racing, 27 in total for Abu Dhabi 4, and 32 for Videx. These are the top 5 at the moment. Dubai Police, 222 offshore, Checkered Racing, Abu Dhabi 4, and Videx. Then is New Star, Fujairah, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi 5, and HPI Racing Team. Meanwhile, I take the chance to say, not my personal, but on behalf of the championship, a big thanks to the Fujairah International Marine Club, the hosts of this event. They carried their name on one of the boats, boat 46, but beside this, they are perfect hosts. They love this discipline, as we said earlier about Australia. They love this discipline, they are always so nice. Of course, we are racing under the aegis of the Sheikh of Fujairah, and personally the deputy person to run this event, to organize, is Major Ahmed Ibrahim Al-Habloushi. He's such a nice person, and it's always so nice to be here. So a big thank you on behalf of all our staff. This is, of course, first race of the season. First event of the season here in Fujairah, and first race. Tomorrow, still here, still at the same time, we will have the second race. So second chance for all of them to gain some points and to fight. We will see. We will keep you, of course, posted. We will keep you updated through our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, and so on and so forth. We will keep you posted about the two Australian boats. If Team Australia, which had smaller damages, especially the cowlings, and then they will see they have water in the engines, if they will be able to fix those engines and start again. And for Maritimo, they flipped over. It will be really tough for them. They will have to take out all the water to dry, to recheck all the wiring, to dismantle all the engines. It happened to me some years ago doing another job, always still related to power boating. One of the boats of the team I was part of flipped over. I'm not a technician, as I said. I spent the whole night dismantling one engine, looking at the technician behind me while he was dismantling and unscrewing the other engine. We had two engines, of course, so I was just copying him. I was following him by 1 minute, 30 seconds, doing everything he was doing. And in a couple or 3 hours, we had all the parts of the engines spread on the floor, all divided and sorted out properly. But then that's only the first part. Then you have to wash all the parts because of the salty water that gets in. Then you have to spray them and then to reassemble the engines. Meanwhile, somebody else is taking care of the electrical part aboard the boat in the cockpit, all the controls, the radio, the power steering, the trim controls, and so it's very tough. All of this provided that you don't have any structural damage, because you never know when the boat hits the water so strong, so hard. But as we said, we have the naval engineer checking, and we have all the commissioners checking, and we will see. Another update, Dubai Police, position number 1, again, after 9 laps, 222 offshore, behind by 15 seconds. XCAT Racing, 22 seconds, so another 7 seconds. Abu Dhabi 4, another 5 seconds. Videx, another 6 seconds. And then New Star, then Fujairah passing now for the 9th lap. It's another 14 seconds to New Star. Then we have Kuwait, we have Abu Dhabi number 5, and we have HPI Racing Team. So Abu Dhabi number 5 seems not to be able to gain ground on Kuwait. It's 2 seconds according to the timing, dividing them, so they're very close, but still it's Kuwait in the lead. While 96 high performance Italia boat crosses the line now for their 9th lap, and it's, let me calculate, 23 seconds of gap to the boat in front, which is Abu Dhabi number 5. It's a big disappointment for Abu Dhabi number 5. Okay, according to the timing, they're still the only ones who have taken a long lap, but they were starting actually in 3rd position because of the Team Australia and the Team Maritimo withdrawal, and now they are in 2nd to last. And they are very strong, Rashid Al-Tayyar, Majid Al-Mansouri, they've been racing so many times. They have a new boat, the American MTI boat, but they went down to USA to test it, and they were confident, and also we've seen them going fast in these days, so it's a disappointment for today. It's 10 laps now for Dubai Police, as we see XCAT Racing taking a turn. This is turn called the Echo. The boys are named after the letters of the international alphabet. They turn Echo and down across the finish line. They're arriving now by the checkered boys for the 10th lap. So it's still 6 laps to go with the one that they are taking now. It's New Star now crossing the line. So they are now in front of Videx, in front of boat number 22 Videx of Alfredo Mato and Joachim Kumlin. Fujairah as well is in front of Videx. Then there is Kuwait. It's really shoulder to shoulder with Abu Dhabi number 5. Abu Dhabi number 5, pardon me. It's amazing. It's like we had 2 seconds dividing them before. It's 0.8 seconds now. So Abu Dhabi number 5 in a whole lap has been able to gain only 1 second on Kuwait, despite a brand new boat. And this means the performance is the same on this kind of flat water. They're more leveled, as I said at the beginning, as we said at the beginning. And also because you are really disturbed when you get so close and you cannot stick to the back of the boat in front of you. So Videx now in 9th place. They took the long lap and the HPI Racing team to close the pack. Back again, I went to check something with the race direction. That's now Pasquale Cesana in front of us. Okay, this is a change in the plans. I could expect, but I didn't know officially. And now I can tell the race direction is giving the white flag now, which means 1 lap to go. The reason being that all the time they spent outside, even if going slowly, they used a lot of fuel. So using this fuel, it means that the fuel is calculated, is reckoned exactly for the laps of the race. So they had to shorten the race. That's why I went to get a confirmation. So this is the last lap. And in the last lap, we have Dubai Police in first spot, 222 Offshore in second, XCAT Racing, Abu Dhabi number 4. These have crossed the finish line for the last lap. Now it's a white flag for New Star in 5th position. Long gap, and we see Fujairah 46, Diego Testa, Andrea Comello crossing now. 58 seconds from the leaders of Dubai Police now. While Dubai Police in the cameras is taking their last lap, they are used to lead the race when they're not disturbed. They can have amazing performance. Kuwait crossing the line for the 11th and second to last lap. Another 14 seconds to Fujairah. Then it's Videx in 9th spot. And HPI Racing in 10th. I didn't mention Abu Dhabi 5. It was so close to Kuwait. They crossed the line together, and from my very eyes I could see only the Kuwait boat and the sprays, and actually Abu Dhabi 5 was beside them. But it's the last big turn, the orange buoys for Nadir Benindi and Darif Al Zafain of Dubai Police. They are turning around Eco 1 and Eco 2. Then a short straight, then a small right again around Foxtrot, and then full throttle for the last straight to the finish line. And we see them crossing the line, and the first checker flag of the season is the same way it ended last year, is for Arif Al Zafain and Nadir Benindi. On top of their box is written the legends. My God, they really are legends. Now 222 Offshore, beautiful podium for the team, Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson. Third, they have like a season ticket for the 3rd place, XCAT Racing. And in 4th, Abu Dhabi 4. Then we'll see, it should be, yeah, exactly on the screen. New Star Racing, boat number 5. Number 5, it's Dmitry Vandishev, Mikhail Kitashev, as they cross the line now. A good 5th spot for them. Well deserved for their efforts. And 46, boat number 46, Fujairah boat. Very good also for Diego Testa and Andrea Comello. They stepped together in the cockpit of this boat for the first time in this season, and they improved so fast and finished in 6th position. Now it's Abu Dhabi number 5 in 7th, so in the end they gain a lot. Exactly, and it's Kuwait. I wanted to have the confirmation, and it's Kuwait following Abu Dhabi number 5. 8th position for Kuwait, 9th position for Videx. This is, on the contrary, a disappointment for them, I'm sure. Alfredo Matto and Joachim Kumlin. And 10th place for François Pinelli and Rosario Schiano on the HPI Racing team. We are used to these images, actually not on this very boat with this livery, but they are so good. They won also the 2 races of last year, one in Dubai and one in China in Xiamen. They are now waiting for their flag to be tossed to them, so they can celebrate on the foredeck of their boat. As we say, 2-2 offshore, very good for Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson. In the last years, we've seen Carpitella always so fast and so competitive. We're still waiting to see him lately on the top spot of the podium, but he's getting there. Absolutely, he's getting there. And with this boat and Darren Nicholson, they can do that. As I said, the season ticket for 3rd spot for XCAT Racing, because it's actually their best result since they entered the championship some years ago, but I've been on the 3rd spot so many times. I don't remember by heart, but I would say at least 5 times. Even last race and last year they did 3rd, and so they confirm again. Very good performance, also because you should think that they started in 8th spot. So Arif Al-Zafaini on the left and Nadir Binindi on the right. You see Pasquale Cesana with a white shirt. Behind it's Darren Nicholson on the left and Giovanni Carpitella standing outside the boat from 2-2 offshore. As now they are celebrating a bit, and they are then going to the podium, because we will have the ceremony of the podium. So I thank you, all of you, for the great support. I apologize for the technical issues, not on our side, but still we're trying to give you the best service. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember that tomorrow at the same time, 4 local time, which is 2 p.m. Central European time, we will have the second race of the round 1 here in Fujairah. And now I move physically, I move to the podium, and I leave you with the highlights of this race. We have already prepared a clip with the best moments of this race, and we are already able to play it now. Thank you.
الرياضات البحرية الجولة الأولى من بطولة العالم للزواج السريعة XCAT. يسرنا أن نرحب بكم أجمل ترحيب في رحلة الإمارات الفجيرة وتحديدا في نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية. دائما أنتم موضوعا الفجيرة. كما نتمنى لكم طيب الإقامة مع خالص تمنياتنا لكم بسباق آمن ومنير. يسرنا أن ندعو على القصة الرئيسية رئيس نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية والشيخ أحمد الحمد الشيخ الشرقي وسعادة فريد ومر فريد رئيس الزكاة الإمارات السيد ريكاردو ويسعدنا أن نرحب بسعادة بنت صالح رئيس بلدية يسرى الأستاذ
حاليا اعزائي المشاهدين لحضور مراسم الفائزين في سباق اليوم وسباق منافسات الجوله الاولى لبطوله العالم للزوارق السريعه.
And we would like to call on the stage His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Saif al-Sharqi, Chairman of Fujairah International Marine Club, and Sheikh Ahmed bin Saif al-Sharqi, Mr. Marathon UAE Marine Sports Federation, Ricardo, Captain UAE, representative. أيها الحفل الكريم يسرنا أن نعلن نتائج سباق أمس يوم أمس ولاقوا الفرق المراكز الآتية. In the pole positioning of yesterday, we are pleased to announce the third position was the boat number 12, and due to safety reason, today in the boat had an incident. However, we wish them a quick recovery, and the pilots are safe. We have checked in the hospital, they are safe. And they are to be given a round of applause. In the second place, boat number 8. If we can have the driver on the podium. On the first position, boat number 3, Dubai Police, عارف الزفين ونادر بن هندي.
سلامت.
Thank you. صورة جماعية مع راعي الحفل. Congratulations and thank you for the team. في المركز الثالث فريق سوكات بقيادة مايكلي وإيريك. In today's race, third position Sokat with Michael and Eric. أما في المركز الثاني فجاء الزورق 222 أوفشور بقيادة جوفيني ودارين. And the second place offshore 222 Giovanni and Dari. أما بطل أفضل زمن فهو الفريق دبي بوليس شرطة دبي بقيادة عارف الزفين ونادر بن هندي. We would like to call the team manager as well, Rajesh Aladdin as well. صورة جماعية وتسليم الجوائز للفريق. Team leader was Rajesh. Now we would like to go for the UAE anthem, please. السلام الوطني لدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. Congratulations to the team, and we shall see you tomorrow on the main course. Thank you very much.
طبعا مشاهدينا مثل ما شاهدتوا ويانا مراسم تتويج الفائزين في الجولة الأولى من بطولة العالم لسباقات الزوارق السريعة فئة الإكسكات هنا في نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية. طبعا في المركز الأول نهنئ طبعا شرطة دبي وقارب شرطة دبي مع الكابيتان وعارف الزفين وطبعا نادر بن هندي الذين يقودون هذا المركب. في المركز الأول شرطة دبي، في المركز الثاني 222 أوفشور، وفي المركز الثالث سويكات ريسنج، وفي المركز الرابع أبو ظبي 4، وفي المركز الخامس نيو ستار، وأيضا زورق الفجيرة الذي تواجد اليوم في المركز السادس، والفريق الكويتي مع القائد عبد اللطيف العماني في المركز السابع، وأبو ظبي 5 في المركز الثامن، وأيضا فيدكس في المركز التاسع، و HPI Racing Team في المركز الأخير العاشر. إذا مشاهدينا شهدنا هذه اللحظات الجميلة في إمارة جميلة هي عروس الساحل الشرقي، إمارة الفجيرة، وبالتحديد من نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية. انتظرونا غدا أعزائي المشاهدين في نفس الموعد وفي رعاية الله.